Hey guys, welcome back to European Exotic Center. Behind me we have a 2012 McLaren MP4-12C. Has 8,000 miles on it. Finished in a pearl white exterior paint color with a carbon black two-tone interior. We have lightweight forged wheels with McLaren orange brake calipers. You got the incredible styling of the 12C. Carbon fiber roof, as well as the carbon fiber front splitter. Sport exhaust system. You have your air brake, which will deploy during hard braking. You have your full carbon fiber monocog with the McLaren logo. Let's go ahead and take it out for a drive. It's head-alteringly quick. It's actually my first time ever driving a 12C. I've driven a 650S, 720, 570s, and pretty much anything else, you know, all the LT cars, but never driven a 12C. This is McLaren's first road car since the legendary F1, which is now worth about $20 million. 2012, as I said, this car came out to compete with the Ferrari 458. So we have a 3.8 liter twin turbo V8. McLaren used this engine for majority of pretty much all their cars up until the 720S. So even the P1 has the same, essentially the same block as this. You're getting about around 600 horsepower. It's 592, and I know some of the cars got that factory upgrade to 616 shortly after the car was released, but I don't know what this car has. So let's just call it 600 horsepower ballpark. And actually many McLarens were underrated from the factory for whatever reason. So it's probably making more than that. Many have actually been dynoed to be making what they claim to the wheels. I don't know why you wouldn't advertise the truth. Revs to 8,500 RPM, 0 to 60s in 3.1 seconds. Top speed is 205. This car weighs in at around 3,200 pounds, so it is incredibly light. Feels it. Rear wheel drive, of course. 305 rear section tires, 7-speed dual clutch transmission. Makes a satisfying clicking noise when you shift. Yeah, throttle response, because it is turbocharged, there is a hint of lag, but when it comes on hard. So starting off here, let's put everything in the normal. You have many drive settings here. You have your handling settings and your performance settings. Put everything in normal mode, and this is simply the best driving supercar I've ever been in.
I was almost thrown off a little bit because it was so comfortable.
Isn't that comfy?
Man, I'm comfortable.
Doesn't it ride really nice? Yeah, the LT cars are a little more rough, like that 600 LT Spider that has a traditional suspension system, but you really don't feel anything beneath. You're just kind of gliding along.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's like a Rolls Royce, like some people say, but it's not far off. So the reason for the nice ride is because this has a hydraulic suspension system. So essentially the wheels are connected independently of one another. So when one wheel goes over a bump, it feels it, but the others don't. But overall the ride, you know, there's no roll bars in this car, and it just glides along so nicely. This car actually is surprisingly safe. This car has an extremely strong and rigid carbon fiber tub. Carbon fiber monocog, whatever you want to call it. All McLarens have these. Next to me here is a massive sill, almost a foot wide. So getting in, a little difficult. That looks real cool. Improves handling tremendously. What?
Tremendously?
Tremendously. Put everything in sport mode, everything gets a bit more amped up. Still nothing crazy, the ride is quite subtle still. So carbon ceramic brakes work tremendously well. The pedal feel actually is a little odd to get used to. You have to kind of add more pressure than you're used to in a normal car, but after a few minutes it becomes very intuitive. Steering is hydraulic power steering, thankfully. This was still during the era with hydraulic power steering, but everything else since then has become electric. Some of the most transparent steering of any supercar I've driven. The Ferrari steering is definitely dartier and faster. These paddles are actually on a rocker panel, which means you can use one hand to upshift and downshift because they move together. It's just one piece together. So if you push a paddle, it's the same thing as pulling a paddle on the other side. Very clever thing that they've done here. Really allows you to drive the car with one hand if you're on the phone, I don't know, eating Krispy Kreme. And this makes life that much easier. And really this car overall, much more dailyable. It's a very good daily driver if you wanted to. You could easily drive this every day. My stomach dropped. You know, normally as a passenger it does drop, more so than the driver, but the torque they produce is monumental, mind-blowingly quick. I mean, the performance you're getting for the money, say $110,000 to $130,000. I have multiple friends who have in the past and currently own McLaren MP4-12Cs, and I've had no major issues. Of course, there's always the small things that happen with a lot of supercars, that small things you can fix. Internally, mechanically, these cars are actually quite good. But for 120 grand, it's worth a look. Like, it's worth a look. At least go drive one. I mean, geez, the performance for 120 grand, essentially half a Ferrari 458, and this would eat a 458. So
I love the 458.
Oh, me too. It's a more exquisite kind of car,
Yeah.
feeling the sound, but to get this kind of performance, 0 to 100, I believe, is in under 6 seconds, or around 6 seconds. Let's talk about the noise for a second. It's a V8 twin turbo. Wouldn't say it has the soul of a Ferrari 458 or a Lamborghini Huracan. It just doesn't. You can make them sound very good, actually, with, of course, an exhaust system. You can hear the turbos spool up, and it sounds very nice. See? Yeah. You know, it sounds nice.
Yeah.
It's fun to do as you pass Priuses. It has a deep growl to it. That's real nice for the environment. As we're in a McLaren.
Yeah, I think so.
So let's talk about the looks for a sec. Everything looks exactly the way it should. Like, everything flows very nicely. Nothing seems like it's out of place or an afterthought or just stuck on. Everything seems like it was designed, well, as Clarkson would say, like designed by science. Nothing too outlandish or over dramatic. It's not like a Lamborghini, you know, like a V12 Lambo. I feel like it looks like how like the sort of default supercar would look. I think the front end is very subtle, very simple, very elegant even. Even the side profile looks very nice with those carbon, well, with those side blades, it looks very nice. The 650S essentially has the same back end, but I actually think the 12C front end looks better than the 650S. I feel like the 650S was a little bit over-styled. Just a little bit too much. It's a good-looking car, but it's just a bit too much going on. I like the simplistic look of the 12C. This does have the touch door handles, which eventually became a physical button. I think it's a cool idea, just a seamless... Oh yeah, let me go and try track mode for a sec. Slap it into T.
That T spot.
Traction control does turn off when you put it in track mode. So now you can really tell the difference from the normal suspension mode and the track. The ride really gets a lot firmer, and you can tell it feels like a proper supercar now. Not that it didn't before, but I'm just saying the subtleness of the ride was just very, it kind of throws you off for a sec. It's very unexpected. Now it feels more like in its territory. Yeah, everything's a little bumpier now.
Yeah.
And of course, you still have the air brake that comes up. When you brake hard, the air brake does come up. It's really cool to see in the mirror. It takes up your entire rear visibility when it's up.
That's cool.
That's cool, yeah.
That's dope.
That's you know, that's a nice supercar thing.
That is
you can't
very
see
supercar.
that. You know, I want some kind of
A mechanically induced view blocker.
I want something that doesn't work too brilliantly. It does have an automatic mode, which works very well.
No need.
No need.
No need.
Do you have your nice center console area here with a vertical screen, which works very nice. It's all touchscreen. Very nice graphics. Very nice stitching around the cabin as well. Everything is either leather wrapped or Alcantara. This car does have the matching white seat inserts, also on the doors. You do have the carbon steering wheel as well. You even have actually a very nice size rear shelf compartment back there to store even more luggage. The trunk is actually quite large for what the car is, and everything is just very nice. It's a great place to be. You can see out very well, almost too well for a supercar. You do have cup holders. They don't fit a Boba Fett corkscrew though, unfortunately, so that's a big downside. Look at how low we are compared to that. I feel like
you're not used to that. You're like what, 6'9", 6'10"? You were like mentioned in the video.
About 6'11". One thing I like about this car is that compared to the other cars, I feel like this kind of just does its own thing. McLaren is not owned by anybody else. This, I just like McLaren because they're a bit different, not as mainstream as everything else. They're starting to pop up in rap videos and stuff, but you know, 458 and the Huracan, they have regular doors. You still get with every McLaren model, you get the billionaire doors, which is just, it's a nice selling point for some people. The speed you're getting for the money is mind-blowing. Like, it really is mind-blowing. It's head-alteringly quick, and that doesn't get old. You can say what you want about the exhaust note not being as exquisite as a 458. That speed doesn't get old. And if you want to take a risk, you can tune these cars and make stupid power with it because it's essentially the same block as a P1. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one.